Okay, today we have a 2010 Ford Fusion, and the problem is the driver's side door handle is broken. If you can hear it's not making any noise to unlock the door. So in order to fix this, you're going to need a few basic tools and obviously the replacement part. So I'll go over the tools first. You're going to need 7mm socket, the socket wrench, an extension, and I'll show you why in a minute. You're going to need a Torx bit or star bit, and this is a T20, so it's a fairly small one. You'll need something to release the door skin once you've got those all loose, and this isn't that exact tool, but I'm thinking it will work. But you'll need something to get in between there and pop out the little clips once you're in there. Then you'll also need a very small screwdriver or some sort of pick tool, and I'll show you why in a second, but this is the smallest little screwdriver I could find. You'll also need the replacement part. I was able to get this on Amazon for $16, shipped the next day. I could have bought a $10 part, but it would have been shipped a few days later, so I needed it faster. But you can also buy them at AutoZone for about $50, so anywhere between $10 and $50 you can buy the replacement part, depending on how fast you need it. So the Torx bit is for this screw right here in the upper left hand side, and there's going to be a screw right down here in the bottom. Now that little screwdriver I mentioned, or that pick tool, will be for right here. There's a little door, a little round door. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get off, and I'm not sure of the screw behind it, but once I get it off I will come back and show you. Then the 7mm bolt and extension will be for down in here, to remove that. So I'm going to start removing screws. I only have the one hand for camera work, so I'll come back once I make a little bit of progress. Okay, I was able to take those two screws off and then open up this little door. As you can see, it's just sort of got its own little hinge, and behind it is that same T20 Torx bit. So just have to get the smallest little tool you can get in there, a pick tool, and I didn't get really too many scratches, but it's a 2010, so a few scratches and a little bit of plastic's okay. And now I'm going to remove that, and then remove that screw, and then I'll show you what the next steps are. Okay, so I have that screw out of there, and then that bolt out of there. So you can lift up this tray. Lift up this tray here. There'll be some connectors in here, and just want to release these connectors and just sort of try to keep in mind, I'm sure the only one will fit into one of them, but so you got this green one on the left, and the same size gray one in the middle, and then a smaller size on the right hand side. There's just a little clip here, and you'll release that and pop them out. So I'll try to do that with one hand here. And I'm not having luck, so I'm going to do that real quick, come back. Okay, so once you have those three out of there, it'll look obviously just like that. Keep in mind, green on the left, gray in the middle, and then that smaller gray one on the far right hand side. But that'll just snap right out of there. Put those to the side. Now I've started taking the door skin off, and I put my tool in there. Start on the bottom in case I tried, scratched anything, no one would see it. So I'm going to put the camera down and just work this around, and there's going to be some popping of the little plastic things that hold it in place. If this tool doesn't work, I'll have to use something that's a little bit more sturdy, but I'll be back in a minute to update you. So I started at the bottom, a couple little scary popping sounds, but I'm hoping the clips are fine. And then once I got the bottom loose, as you can sort of see here, then I'm just going to take my hand on the left hand side and on the right hand side and just sort of work my way up and then this whole skin should come off. So try that. Oh yeah, and I'm sorry, I forgot about this. With this screw out, this should just come right out. You may have to open the handle, slide it off of here. So this, obviously, don't try to rip everything off till this is out. And again, you'll have another clip for the window actuator, and it's just a little clip, and that should be out of the way. Set that aside, and then when everything is put back together, when we're getting closer, of course, make sure that you stick this up through here and these through here. You don't want to have this sticking up here by accident. So now I'm thinking it should come across or come out, and then also this will be the screw or the bolt for removing the actual replacement piece, and that does not look like it's a 7mm. It's probably an 8, but I will check back in a minute. Okay, so just a little bit of tugging on this plastic, and the thing's pretty much off. Just got one clip there, and it doesn't look like any of the clips broke, so that's good. And that is an 8mm bolt that is holding that on there. So I'll update my description in the. But you will need a 7mm and an 8mm bolt. So I'm going to get this piece off to the left with both my hands so I don't break it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are back, and just looking at all the clips, and those look good. Obviously, if one did break, I'm sure you can buy it at AutoZone or someplace, but if you're careful, it shouldn't be a problem. And like I said, I just started with it down here on the bottom in case there was any scratch. No one would see it, but I don't think I made any scratches. Then once I had this clip out and this clip out here and probably this one over here, I was able to just stick my hands in there and work my way up. This was the last clip that wanted to come out, but it wasn't too bad. So what we're going to do is unbolt with this 8mm now, and then we'll disconnect from here. Then we'll put our new piece together and reverse the process. And again, keeping in mind that when we put it together, this one needs to be on the top, these three will need to come through the armrest. If you're curious as to what broke, the one on top is the old one, the one on the bottom is the new one. You can see that right in here, oops, right in there we're missing some plastic pieces that are right here. So that's what snapped off after 9-10 years of opening the door. With the old one, just snap this little plastic piece out of here. Then we're going to remove the metal connector outside of the little keyway. Again, it's hard with one hand, but I'll go do that. And then when you have the new one, you're going to put that connector back into here, and then that metal piece into this connector right there.